Hey everybody, it's Brett with a market update. Haven't talked to you in a while. Happy New Year to everybody. I was under the weather a little bit, and boy, did we have a big week last week. Want to unpack this for you real quick, and we'll be doing more of these here in the future. So I want to take a quick look at the DXY. DXY breaking up out of a downward trending channel. So very unusual that also Bitcoin was going up a little bit, but this coincides with Bitcoin coming down. I did have this inverse head and shoulders drawn on the DXY. So sure enough, that has sort of played out. We've seen this breaking out. And as we know, that's an inverse trading relationship with Bitcoin, not causal, but correlates with that. So just jumping over to the daily Bitcoin chart. And of course, we had Gary Gensler riding herd, making sure that this didn't go much higher. Bitcoin came right up to the golden pocket that we were looking at and watching for some time. And to draw that, I'll come back to this chart in a minute, but the golden pocket, of course, was from the market cycle high down the market cycle low, and we extend that out. It was this little sliver right in here, which is the 0.618 to the 0.65. And if I kind of change my settings on that real quick, which I'll do, and go to my fib golden pocket, so you can see that. So we pushed right up to that level, touched that 0.618 level, and rejected, which we were forecasting in prior videos. So with that in mind, where do we go from here? This is a weekly chart of Bitcoin, and so a couple things to keep in mind. I do think that we pull back. We are overdue for a pullback here. And so to come back 20%, 28% would be normal in the scheme of things. And so, again, we pushed up to that golden pocket, rejected around this $44,000 level on the weekly time frame, had a bearish engulfing candle last week. So more than likely, we come down to this 38K level. Not a good thing, a bad thing. It's just a thing. Actually, it would be a good thing in terms of catching a bounce. So this market's overextended, coming down 20%, as we can see in the past. Very normal for Bitcoin. And if we come back here, we had a deeper pullback when the trend reversed initially, had about a 30% pullback from here to here. A little deeper if we go all the way up to this point. So remember, even in bull runs, we can have 20, 30, 40% pullbacks, sometimes 50% pullbacks on Bitcoin. And but then here again on this one had a 20% pullback, as you can see from the 25.3 level we were watching closely down to this wick here, 23% pullback, and then another 20% pullback back here in June. So we push higher, front running this ETF, and the ETF news, sure as we were expecting, it was a sell the news event, and there's more going on here. We don't have time to unpack. Maybe we'll do an interview with Max and go over that a little more detail here this week. So what I want to point out here is what do I think happens. Pullback to 38K would retest this important 38K resistance, prior resistance level, and form and solidify that as support so that we can push higher into new highs. And so I do think that's warranted to come back into this area. The ETFs, there's a lot of money moving around right now. GBTC is selling a lot of their Bitcoin to basically for redemptions. A lot of that's been locked up for a while, and holders want to redeem some of that for profits, and some of them are wanting to reallocate it into the other ETFs with lower fees, and it takes time. It has to settle through their banks. So there's a number of reasons we haven't seen the ETF push that we were expecting, but I think that will come later. So a pullback to 38K would be likely. That would be a 20% pullback. Now, if we do come down to the 32% level, by the way, and see a deeper pullback. Let me just move that out of the way for us. And I'm trying to grab the lower corner of this thing. They overlap sometimes. That would be a 33% pullback. This 32K level was all important, an all important resistance back here. And if we go farther back, 32K was a very important level that we haven't retested yet. So all the way back here in January of 2021, broke above that, formed support, tested support, launched up to the market cycle high, and then retested it again, retested the high. This was actually the up thrust after distribution in the Wyckoff patterns. We've talked about that in the past. And then we came down, broke through 32K, held briefly, but then it acted as resistance. So the fact that we finally broke above that to come back and retest retest 32K would be very healthy for a bigger bounce on Bitcoin. Think of it as jumping off the roof onto the trampoline, get a bigger bounce. The higher you drop, the bigger the bounce. So that's kind of what we'd like to see. And so, I am recommending some people take profits, and we did in our M3 active trader group here to take profits up in this range for this pullback. We are seeing money cycle out into other coins like Link and Ethereum. Some people are speculating that they're front running the ETH ETF. I'd be careful with that. Not sure that that's going to happen anytime soon, but we are seeing a rotation into alts. So as the DXY pushes higher, here's a quick look at the Bitcoin iShares Trust. Came out, launched, of course, last Thursday on the 11th, and it's been going down ever since. They haven't really deployed a lot of capital yet, all of their capital yet, because they'd obviously like to get in at lower prices. And so here's another chart on the Bitcoin daily, again, topping out on this region, looking at our indicators, showing it's a bit overbought, but ready for a bounce. Might see a little bounce here. We could see another push up to retest those 50,000 levels, but I still think we come back down at least to that 38K, maybe that 32K level to retest and reset. So here's another look at this. A lot of sell pressure too, as you can see in these order blocks up above at 48, 49, 50K. So a lot of sell pressure up in that region. I had this question mark up there weeks ago. Sure enough, we rejected here. We are having some kind of a pullback, but unfortunately there are some buy blocks in this region. So it's kind of I think Bitcoin may just go sideways for a little bit until we figure out which way it's going to go. Here again is Gary Gensler putting a firm clamp on top of the Bitcoin rally with all of the shenanigans and the false announcements at the SEC. So I hope one of these days we'll get around Gary there. We'll just kind of go around him. And so that won't be too far along. Ethereum looking strong in a nice upward trending channel. And so a nice buy block here on our ERI Pro. I think Ethereum does continue to push higher, and so looking at our custom indicators, are just kind of a little bit overbought on the daily, and a pullback wouldn't be a bad thing to kind of set us up for more upside. And the alts are looking pretty good. Let's take a quick look at the total market cap. Got to make it quick here to guys today because I teach a weekly class at noons at Wednesdays, and for our active trader group, and if you'd like to find out more about that, you can do that at moonstream.io/max training, which is your opportunity to we do these classes once a week and go a little bit deeper dive, have a little more time in all of this. And so this is this M3 active trader course here. And again, it's just moonstream.io/max training if you want to find out more. Also includes our custom indicators, and there's a nice lower monthly fee for this now. Great time to be in the program. We've had some big wins in there. You can read all about it here at moonstream.io/max training. And total market cap, look, we pushed right up to this 1.8 trillion, barely got up to the, in that region, and then it sold off, which was somewhat expected. Let me just turn off our ERI Pro. Actually, we just pushed up in this region, briefly got it to 1.8 trillion on the market cap. Each of these levels are a kind of a area where typically it takes profits. If we do push up to the $2 trillion level, that was a significant level in the past market cycle. So we want to keep that in mind as well. So anyway, you guys, that's all I have time for. But again, if we do push up here to this 2 trillion market cap, if we do get another rally and we push up higher, I would be taking profits there. Not financial advice, but that's a likely area to pull back and reject and refresh for the next big leg up. Things are looking really good, though, in terms of brief pullbacks. That's to be expected. So don't worry if you see things pulling back in, and some altcoins may be in play. Altcoins might pull back. A little bit of speculation of whether we see rotation out of Bitcoin, out of Ethereum into alts, and continue the rally without going into fiat or into stable coins. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Hopefully we can do an interview and go back and forth and kind of talk about some of these things in more detail. All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.